And let me just turn on the live in Instagram. Okay. Yes. So, okay, let's get started. And my first question that I want you to share with me is, what is one or two things from our previous discussion that you remember most? From our previous discussion, chapter 1, what is one or maybe two things that you remember most?
Can I try to answer?
Yes, sure. Alec, you can.
I
Tatiana,
quickly.
hello. Yes.
I did quickly. So the most remarkable thing for me is that we realized nobody knows how to teach a kid with financial things, how to get rich, and so on.
Okay. Yes. How to teach our kids. Okay. Yulia, what about you? What was the most that you
I
remember
think,
from our discussion?
yeah, I think the most important thing it is don't be slave for money.
Yes,
And,
that we shouldn't be slave for money. Slaves for money. Okay. Thank you. Tatiana, what about you? We're talking about what was the most remarkable or what you remember most from the previous discussion.
So I remember the lesson was the life, the best teacher, and in the school we don't teach how to live and how make the money. So this is life teach.
Yes, but of course it's better that we teach financial literacy at school. It will be better, but yes, the reality is different.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's now speak about the chapter number 2. So this statement that I'm concerned that too many people are too focused on money and not on their greatest wealth. What is greatest wealth by the author of the book? What he thinks is the greatest wealth. So too many people are focused on money and not on their greatest wealth. What is this greatest wealth? Do you remember? What was this greatest wealth? Any ideas? What was this greatest wealth?
Гениальная задумка какая-то.
Wealth – это что это? Wealth.
Я не знаю.
это как бы богатство и состояние, не знаю, как сказать.
Богатство, да, богатство. Что наше, то есть что самое большое богатство, да? So too many people are focused on money and not on their greatest wealth. What is this greatest wealth? That
Maybe
we should focus
being
on?
smart, being to have an opportunity to teach yourself or something.
Yes.
About
It is.
Japanese mirror.
It is education, our financial education, or education itself. So the greatest wealth, Robert said in the book that the greatest wealth is our education. Okay. Here is the statement. I just here put the quote from the book. If people are prepared to be flexible, keep an open mind and learn, they will grow richer and richer despite tough changes. If they think money will solve problems, they will have a rough ride. Intelligence solves problems and produces money. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. That is the idea. Okay. So the next statement and next question. When people ask Robert, tell me how to get rich quick, or where do I get started, he simply says to them what his rich dad said when he was a little kid. If you want to be rich, you need. What did this rich dad say to young boys? If you want to be rich, you need what?
To know about flow of money, flow cash.
Cash
and
flow.
Cash flow, yes. And you have to read numbers.
To read numbers. Okay. Thank you. Any more ideas? Some ideas?
It is important not only how to earn money, but also how to manage those money and not spend more than you earn.
Okay. Tatiana, what about you? What is your idea?
If you want to be rich, you need the think about yourself. So think your hand, your brain. So
To think.
yeah,
You mean
and
to think.
believe in yourself.
Yes, you like this phrase, believe in yourself. Yes. Okay, so Rich Dad said that if you want to be rich, you need to be financially literate. Financially literate. By the way, what does it mean, financially literate?
Can I add something? I just remembered. He told us the money, they are made up. They are not exist in real life. It is like
Yes.
a carrot before the donkey, and you have to remember this and not forget this in any time.
Yes. So they are not real. Yes, I also like that idea that money is just illusion, like this carrot. Yes, and what does it mean to be financially literate? Financially literate.
So,
This is
What is literate?
финансовая грамотность.
And what is literate? So, a person who can read and write, he's literate. Грамотный, да? We say
Yes.
he's literate. A person who can write and read, he's literate. And financially literate is what? A person who what?
You can read numbers, and numbers can tell us a story about like words.
Can I add a thing? Well, the main thing is to distinguish assets and liabilities.
Yes, just a moment. Yes, we will talk about that later. And now, how do you understand this expression, to be financially literate?
Well,
what?
it
Financial educational.
Financial education. And what does it mean? To know what?
It seems to me if to know laws in which money works, about incomes, about spendings, and taxes also is important.
Yes, to know how money works. Yes, to know how money works. Okay, and yes, the next slide. So accounting is possibly the most confusing, boring subject in the world. But if you want to be rich long term, it could be the most important subject. Do you agree that statement, and why?
Yes, I think so, because if you have any knowledge in accounting, you can balance her spendings and her income your income, and you understand how money works. Yes.
By the way, money is plural, is not plural, right? Therefore, money works. Not money work, but we say money works because it is not plural. It is non-countable. Okay. So accounting is possibly most confusing and boring thing, but it is very important for the long-term possibility to be rich. Yes, and do practice accounting in your life and maybe in your family budget. How do you manage your family budget?
Well, once I tried to to uh, to, to write down my spendings. At the moment, I worked and keep savings. I wanted to go to driving school, and I didn't spend a lot. I didn't. I just bought only the necessary things, and I realized that my spendings are extremely small, and at the moment I decided it is not. I don't need to do this because um, uh, the main idea at the moment was if you see your expenses, your spendings, it helped you to not to spend more money. But at the moment, I was very careful. It was about 10 years or maybe a little bit more.
Okay, so do you do it now? Do you manage your budget, write the expenses, the incomes? Do you write it down?
At the moment, the things are not changed a lot. I don't spend money for some not necessary things, but it doesn't make me a good accountant. If one day I have to buy something important, but I not agree. I'm not sure that I'm able to do it properly, and so on.
Yes, because this is really a boring thing, boring subject.
Not only this, because I don't know
How to do it properly.
how to do it properly, how not to be like a fool who just count and thinks he's smart. I think I have to set the goal, maybe.
Yes, I
I
agree.
have to understand how and for what for I do it.
Yes, yes,
I
I
can
fully
just
agree
count,
with you.
and what will I do with these digits? I don't know.
Yes, I fully agree with you. Absolutely agree.
But it helped me. For some people, it at least it could help show themselves their spendings and realized, oh, we spent too much, for example. But it's not about to be extremely greedy. Sometimes we have to spend money for
Yes, sure.
care, for clothes, for maybe education, or good food, and so on.
Yes, sure. Yes, okay. Thank you. And what about you, Julia? Do you manage your family budget, writing down all these things?
Um,
say?
I don't do this every time, but I have to. I separate my spendings on the groups for food, for clothes, for any entertainment, maybe for vacation and others. But I have a big family, and usually, and there are a lot of things which is not counted on these groups. And I used to spend money on it, and so I think it's not working good for me.
Okay. It's difficult to manage all these things when you have a lot of members of your family who spend money unconsciously.
Yes.
Okay. Tatiana, and what about you? Do you practice this management of budget?
Now I don't practice that, and I don't know how to
do
make
it?
the money and do it, and I don't understand anything, so I leave my parents. I'm not separation, so yeah, this
Yes.
is very hard.
And as far as I remember, it is. I think I'm not sure, but I think that some people who teach financial literacy, they say that it is useful to teach your kid to manage the budget when he is 4 or 5 years old. So you can do it. You can give him his pocket money and teach him how to manage this money. So he must, when he's 5, or maybe I don't know, when the person is 5, can he count the numbers or not? I'm not sure, because my child can't count the numbers. But I think that we can teach our kids when they are maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years old, when they can count numbers, and they can they can study how to manage the budget with their pocket money. But okay, it's just about kids. Okay, the next question. So how did the rich dad pour a strong financial foundation for 2 kids? What has he created to teach them about accounting? So accounting is very boring and difficult process, but he so made something. He created something that very simple, that taught the kids all this stuff about accounting. What did he do? What did he create?
Can I reply, please?
Yes, sure.
It seems to me we're talking about those drawings, simply drawings about incomes and liabilities, and about money flow. They are
Yes,
very simple, but they
yes.
are very наглядный, что-нибудь такое.
So maybe they give strong foundation for them to understand what is about assets and liabilities.
Yes, and also he told us about a thing, what I heard about sometimes about this, about KISS principle.
Yes, I
KISS,
have it here.
KISS stands for keep it simple, stupid.
Yes. Keep it super simple.
Or
What
keep
is his
keep it
principle?
super simple. It's yes, that's why it works for kids. Sometimes you just not have to, you don't have to do something your explanations very sophisticated, or
Mhm.
just keep it simple, and sometimes we unfortunately forget about this.
Yes. And it's really more difficult to keep it simple than to keep it sophisticated, because some philosophers say that if the person can say or explain something very simple, that means he is very sophisticated, because it's really difficult to explain something in simple words.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Another question. What is the difference between, so now we talk about assets and liabilities. He draw the pictures of what is assets or assets, like American version, or assets like British English, assets and liabilities. So what is the difference between assets and liabilities?
The main difference of this subject is that the assets bring your money, and the liabilities take off it out of your pocket. Take out.
Take out, and assets put money in your pocket. Yes, that's very simple explanation, and we can understand it easily. Okay, and why is it difficult to explain the idea of assets and liabilities to an adult?
Because an adult don't know the difference of it, and they think that the liability is an asset.
Yes.
They invest in their house and pay credit for a long time, and it is not an asset according to
Yes.
this.
Yes, they think that it is an asset, but this is not an asset, but the liability. But in the USA, in America, or maybe in some European countries, I don't know, but in America, people are taught that the house is your asset. And I think in Russia, many people even don't know these concepts like assets and liabilities. I'm not sure they know these concepts. Have you ever heard about what is assets, what is an asset and a liability? Have you ever heard?
No, I don't know about this, and
Пассив и актив, да, это называется по-русски пассив и актив. Have you ever heard about it? You know about it?
Yes, I know about this, but only when it works on company, not in your personal budget.
Life.
Yes.
Yes, but in America, people know what are the assets and liabilities, but they don't understand it properly, don't understand these concepts properly. So the author of this book, Robert, he says that the illiterate of the 21st century will be not those who can read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Do you understand this? How do you understand this statement? So usually we say that the person is illiterate when he cannot read and write. But for the 21st century, it will be different.
So this is about when you can learn and listen the teach for life. So
Yes.
you know how to live, you know how to make the money, you can teach, you can learn it. But if you can just read and write but can't learn, you don't understand the life teach.
Mhm.
Life learning.
Yes. Yes. So he says that the difficulty comes when people can't learn something because they were already learned, and they learned something and they can't relearn or unlearn. They can't become children again because
Yes.
they think that they know something. That is the difficulty for the 21st century, because people are used to live in some way and they think that is true for them, and they know everything about this or that, and they can't unlearn and relearn again. That is
Yeah.
the difficulty. Okay. KISS principle, we have already discussed it. So rich dad simply told two young boys that assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take money out of your pocket. How did he explain that? Do you remember? With the drawings? Yes. So he explained it. We have already discussed. And what else? Can you just say it or explain it in your own words? What does it mean that assets put money in your pocket? What does it mean?
It means that some things help you to earn money, not spend money. And for kids, he made this very clear explanation, and he told them about not everybody knows how to distinguish those things, even adults. The kids were surprised, and he asked him could you explain us, please, how to distinguish those things? And he told them in simple words: assets, what helps you earn money; liabilities, what makes you spend money.
Yes, but I think assets, it is what what helps you to earn money. It is not really correct, I think, because he said that assets is something that put money in your pocket whether you work or not. So you don't earn something, you don't work, you just so you buy this asset, or you not buy but make this asset, that you own this asset, and it puts money in your pocket again and again, independently whether you work or not. So not because of your labor, not because you work, but because it is an asset and it puts money in your pocket. I understood it like that. So maybe I'm not quite correct, but I think
It looks like an asset may be a skill or knowledge also.
you think, yes,
Maybe this.
but how your skills or knowledge, how it puts money in your pocket. So you're skilled and you're knowledge, and you have some knowledge, but it doesn't put money in your pocket.
Yes, our knowledge and just directs us,
Yes.
but they they don't make money.
Yes, they don't produce any money. Okay, and what can be an asset or a liability? Can you just give us the examples? What can be an asset or a liability?
Well, if you have a very big, expensive house and you have to pay taxes for this, and
Mhm.
you bought furniture for this, and
Yes.
it looks like a liability.
Yes.
But if
Like
you have a small business, maybe, or you bought a house or a flat and you rent it for others people, and it looks like an asset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. What else? Any other examples of assets or liabilities?
So I'm just on page 22, but I
22?
think
Okay.
that 22.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's mean both the active, this is the investation, and another very smart things.
Mm-hmm.
Positive, this is the things that buy the car, buy the house, buy everything what you don't very нужно, must,
Necessary or what?
necessary, yeah, no,
Not necessary?
that's,
Нужно.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
this is when something забирает,
Take. Takes.
take the money,
Mm-hmm.
and тьфу ты, and active, this is the put the money. So,
Yes. But an example. Okay, let's take a car. For example, a car. Is it an asset or a liability? What do you think? A car.
this is liabilities.
Liability.
Yeah.
But some people work as a driver and they use a car for earning money. Sometimes
Yes.
it's an exception. But if you bought an expensive luxury car and it stands in the garage, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
look like an asset.
Yes. Yes. So one thing can be an asset, either an asset or a liability. For example, a car can be an asset when it puts money in your pocket. So when you are, for example, a driver or a taxi driver, and you earn money by this car, but not exactly. You work, right? Maybe we can't say it is an asset because you have to work. Then the car puts money in your pocket.
Yeah.
But the assets are things that put money in our pocket without much labor, much working. So maybe it is not an asset. I don't know really.
But
Okay, but
some
yes,
people can rent a car or something.
yes, yes, yes. For example, yes, you can give it for rent, and then you earn money, so it puts money in your pocket. It will
Yeah,
be an
and
asset.
you don't work at the time.
Yes, you don't work, and puts money. Yes, I agree. But actually, it is a liability. We pay some money for gas and for maybe technical
Insurance,
service,
insurance.
insurance, and when we break the rules, the rules on the road. Yes, we also spend money. Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's go next. So, if you want to be rich, simply spend your life buying or building assets. If you want to be poor or middle class, spend your life buying liabilities. So, how do you understand that? How can we buy an asset or buy a liability?
I just remember a short piece from the book. I liked it. It is a story about a young couple who just got married, and
Yes.
they have a tiny apartment, and then they're going to buy a house. And it was an interesting story. It told us sometimes he changes names in this story, but their pattern of actions are the same. And this story is about liabilities, and also about their directions. Maybe those characters in this story are not stupid. They are hardworking. They are
Yes.
smart,
Educated,
educated, but
hardworking.
they don't have a financial literacy, and that's why we are a little bit sad for them. But it looks stupid, but even after reading, I can't tell about essence many things, unfortunately. all my examples are not very clear.
Yes, because I think we need time to understand it and to make this expression our own, not just reading it, but to make it our own. So as far as I can understand it, so all our actions concerning money or our work, so we should predict our actions. So will it be an asset what we are doing, or a liability? So will it put money in our pocket in future? So what we are doing now, for example, it's like, I like this example about when a person is writing a book, for example. So when you write a book, so in the moment you are doing it, it doesn't put any money in your pocket. So you don't earn anything. But after you publish the book and after you sell the book, you will have this book as an asset because it will put money in your pocket without any working, so without any labor from your side. So this how I understand what is an asset. So your actions now, they don't bring you any money, for example, but you know that in future, so sometime later, they will bring money. They would put money in your pocket without working from your side. So that's what an asset, as I understand it. But of course, it's not easy. It's not so easy. Okay, cash flow tells the story of how a person handles money. How do you understand? So cash flow tells the story of how a person handles money. How do you understand that? Cash flow tells the story of how a person handles money. Why does it tell the story?
Because it shows us how money come to you and how you spend it for what. If you have only a salary and you buy a liability and you have some credit card and credit for house or flat, and this piece is much and your salary don't so bigger, you are in debt.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you. Okay. Next, so more money will often not solve the problem. In fact, it may compound the problem, he said. Money often makes obvious our tragic human flaws, putting a spotlight on what we don't know. Do you agree with that statement, with the statement?
Can I add?
Mm-hmm.
While I was reading, I made some quotes which I liked a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
it seems to me I have one for this case. There is a
Mm-hmm.
saying a friend of mine says over and over to people in debt: if you find you have dig yourself into a hole, stop digging.
Mm-hmm.
For some
Yes.
people, if they don't change their mindset, their attitude to money, for those people who like spend all of those of their money, all of their
Mm-hmm.
money, and they don't want to change this habit, sometimes
Yes.
they are able to have a promotion, to have a bigger salary, but they also spend all those money. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it looks strange, but sometimes it is hard to explain to those people, you spend too much.
Yes. So it doesn't matter how much money you have, but if you have some flaws, some human flaws, more money will just make them obvious. So they will, more money will put a spotlight on that flaws that you have. Yes, more and more, all this greed that he was talking about in the previous chapter, chapter number 1. This greed, human greed, more and more and more. Yes. So it means that first we should get rid of our flaws like greed and fear, and then more money will be good for us, and it will be just like better. But if you don't get rid of these human flaws, it will compound the problem. It will make it worse. Yes, okay. So we go to school to gain professional skills. We work hard and make money with our professional skills. But what is missing in school education? To school to gain professional skills. Mm-hmm. Yes, what is missing in school education?
When kids become a little bit older, they just noticed the school teaches people how to be an employee, but not an
Yes.
employer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I also paid attention at this statement. School makes employees, right? Employees, but not the employers. Mm-hmm. So what
Yeah.
is missing in school education?
Financial education.
Yes, financial foundation, financial literacy. Mm-hmm. Okay. A person can be highly educated and financially illiterate. Do you agree? And what it may cause? Highly educated, professionally successful, and financially illiterate.
Yes, I agree with that because when we study, we learn how to work hard and what to do at our work that it will be successful. But
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to spend or invest money to keep
Yes,
it
to
and
manage, to handle money. Yeah,
manage them. Yes.
yes, absolutely correct, I think. Okay, now let's let's discuss this Japanese saying. The Japanese are aware of three powers. Do you remember this saying from the Japanese people? So what are these three powers, and what is the most treasured of the three?
Can I answer a real reply?
Yes.
Well, the Japanese have three symbols of power. And the first one is a sword.
A sword.
Sword. It can be an army, some
Yes.
force which is able to protect you. The second one is a jewel. It is a power of money and all of those possibilities which they give you. And the third one, and the most important, it is a mirror. The mirror is symbol of it is a possibility to teach, to discover yourself, to learn your abilities, or to develop yourself, to look into your soul. And that's why it helps you to grow and be more educated, more conscious, and so on. And you don't have to forget about this. As we told before, we told about
relearn.
Relearn. Thank you. Because sometimes you have to revise your skill to learn something new. Maybe you miss something, and it's never too late to learn. And there is the rich dad told us, some people think school is just the end part of education, but for him, for the rich dad, it was just start,
the beginning.
just the beginning, because we have to learn all our life, because sometimes we can predict something, but some things we can't predict. The things are change around us, and also we change, and something we can do better, something we forget how to do properly if we don't do it often, and so on. So that's why the mirror is very important. So sometimes we have to look at ourselves, to be honest to our own, and to distinguish our fears and our desire, and listen to our emotions, but not be led of them or something.
Yes.
Прислушиваться к эмоциям, но не идти на их поводу. Как-то так там было.
Okay, so it's the power of self-knowledge, right?
Self-knowledge. Thank you.
Yes, self-knowledge. And here I have the question: if we use the power of the mirror, what question we should ask ourselves? So the author of the book, Robert, was mentioned about this question. What question we should ask ourselves when we use the power of the mirror? Do you remember? So the question was, does this make sense? Does this make sense? When we do something, we have to understand the meaning or the goal of this, what we're doing. So does this make sense? Why we do this? Does this make sense for us? So that was the question. And he was talking about trusting the inner wisdom. So trusting the inner wisdom or following the crowd, conform and mindlessly repeat or question. So that is about this power of mirror, about self-knowledge. These questions that we should ask ourselves. So what do you practice in your life? Do you trust your inner wisdom or follow the crowd, what the majority of the people do or say or think? What do you practice in your life, in your personal life?
To be honest, it is quite a difficult question.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe sometimes we try to trust
Mm-hmm.
our inner wisdom, but sometimes we can be messed, and we can make a mistake, and because of
Yes.
emotion, because of stress, we can
Mm-hmm.
distinguish what we hear in our soul. Is it a fear, or is it our inner wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
And mm, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And what about the second question? Conform and mindlessly repeat or question.
Yes, we can just look for a crowd, look for people around you, and act like them. But sometimes maybe you have to stop and just think, do I
Mm-hmm.
really want to do this? Do
Mm-hmm.
even they know what they do? And so on.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's really, I think, not usual for people to stop and think and question himself, to look in his mirror, and see himself, his inner emotions, goals, and feelings, and question himself. Does it make sense? Why I'm doing this or that? Why I think so? And remember, in the beginning of the book that we are reading now, so in the introduction, it was said that this boy Robert, he always asked himself, why does rich dad say this or that? He didn't just um, mindlessly conform or repeat his words. He always asked himself, so questioned himself, why does he say so? And I think that is really very good quality. And that isn't just my opinion, that a person who questions himself, he is growing in his personality, he develops his personality. And that is a good habit, to question yourself. Why I'm doing this or that? Why I'm feeling like that? Does it make sense for me, what I'm doing? Okay. So what kind of fear causes people to conform to commonly accepted opinions and prevents most people from seeking new ways to solve their problems? What is this fear that causes people to follow the crowd and accept the opinions of majority of people?
Well, if
What
I'm
is
not
this fear?
mistaken, we're talking about the part of the book where they told us about a fear of being an outcast.
Yes. The fear of
Because
being
if
an outcast.
you are too stubborn, if you don't behave, you don't act like everybody else, they might think about you that you're strange, that you're silly, or so
Yes.
on. And it is not pleasant situation because mm, nobody supports you, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You're one, and you're different from others. You are standing out. The fear of standing out, the fear of outcast, Yes, the fear of criticism and the fear of being ridiculous. That
Yeah,
как бы такой.
sometimes we can imagine that people will say, "Wow, you're so smart," but usually they tell you something like, "You're such a weirdo. Wow, just
Yes,
what do you do? Just relax."
yes, yes,
Are
that's true.
you so smart or showing off?
Yes, I hear this such words very, very often from people around me, but and it really stops sometimes. It stops me to go forward. It really
Yes.
very very hard to overcome this fear.
Sometimes
Hmm.
it freaks you out and you become angry and you do actions that are not very smart, and sometimes you can mess and you can miss a good advice because of this. So we have to uh, think about this
Hmm.
constantly, and it takes a lot of energy, a lot of power, and it is hard.
Yes, and it is written. It is said that the fear of public speaking, or the fear of being an outcast, the fear of standing out, is greater than the fear of death. It is said here in the book. Yulia, do you agree with that? Do you have this fear of being different from others, from the crowd, being ridiculous, maybe? So, do you have this fear of public speaking, not like the crowd speaks?
I think I have because it's very complicated to be out of a crowd and
Mm-hmm.
um, goes your own way.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, and for example, if we just practice this idea in our life, for example, a lot of people they buy the flat or the house, so they pay mortgage. I don't know how to say it in English, but mortgage payments. So they buy a house, да, в ипотеку я имею в виду, да, то есть they buy a house or a flat and they pay mortgage, and it's the most. So many people do this, and we have some kind of when people buy the flat or the real estate, they don't ask themselves, does it make sense for me? Why I'm doing this? They are followed by the crowd, I think, because a lot of people do this, and I also have to do this. Do you understand my idea?
Yes, because sometimes they were told about their relatives, about their parents, about
Yeah.
their friends. It is okay. It is okay. You have to do it. Sometimes it
Yes.
works.
Sometimes it works.
We have
Yes, I
to admit,
agree.
sometimes it works, but there are some exceptions. Sometimes, if you think and you
Mhm.
can find another option, another way how to solve your situation, some
Mhm.
people just rent a flat for time, and then they want to move in a different city maybe, or so on.
Mhm. Yes. Mhm. Okay. Let's go further. Let's talk about school. So, by the time Mike and I were 16 years old, we began to have problems in school. We were not bad kids. We just began to separate from the crowd. What do you think about this statement? I think that it's really common in Russia when a person is different and he breaks the rules of some society, for example, school or kindergarten. So it's really difficult for the person to follow his way because he follows the crowd. It's really difficult to separate from the crowd. What do you think? Is it good to separate from the crowd, for example, at school, to be different, to be
It's
standing
very
out?
hard to be different at school because all your classmates and teachers look at you and they think you're so weird. And usually you're alone, and it's very hard, I think.
Yes, really difficult.
But there are two boys and they're friends, so I think it was easier to them to separate of a crowd.
Yes, absolutely agree with you. And for them it was easier, I think, because they had rich dad,
Yes.
their who was their support. He supported them, and yes. So, okay. The next slide. When we were told to follow set procedures and not deviate from the rules, we could see how school discouraged creativity. We started to understand why our rich dad told us that schools were designed to produce good employees instead of employers. So school discourages creativity. Because
yes, I think that's so, because you have to play in their rules, and you don't have any chance to break it.
To break the rules.
Yes.
Tatiana, do you think that school discourages creativity? It kills creativity in people.
Yes, I agree. This is beginning with a uniform and ending the school program, because when you art human, you want to be a freedom. You want to make the art and live in the art. But school live for program and just program, because school don't can the change, and this is a very sad, really very sad, because a lot of good artist or good writer and another art professional dying in the school, moral dying.
Yes, but do you remember we discussed last time that we can't change the obstacles. We can't change somebody else. The only thing we can change is ourselves. Of course, we can't change the school, right? The system of schooling education, but we can change ourselves. We can be different. We can separate, and we can break the rules. But really it is, I think, how to solve this problem. What do you think? What are your ideas? How to solve this problem? The school or the kindergarten are the system. They are the system, some kind of system. And the system has its own rules, how to be in the system, how to behave in the system. So if you are creative, if you are different, you break the rules of the system, and the system will not, it will kill the system. It will not function anymore. So how to solve this problem? What do you think? Can we solve it?
Можем ли мы сломать систему?
Нет, вот, то есть как можно, ну, то есть Okay, for example, I have a kid. He's in the kindergarten and he's really different from others. He's very creative and I don't want to break his creativity, but in the same way, I understand all these people who work in the kindergarten because they have some rules. They have the system and the rules how to behave and so how to be in this society, how to be in this system, but not lose your creativity.
So it's a hard question.
Yes,
I
very
was I was a fight the system, so and this is the help me. This is change my character. So I don't know because I'm fine and this is help me. It's all what I can say because I really don't know.
Can
Yes.
I try to talk about this?
Sure, yes.
Well, it seems to me, yes, as we told before, a school it is a part of system, but sometimes even school also have some flexibility, and sometimes you can find an opportunity to show, to gain your creativities or check them. But when I was listening to your um, examples, I just imagine that for kids it is very useful when they have support at home, maybe. Because sometimes
Yes.
if we see some creativity in our kids, we have to show them that we appreciate it, that it is valuable. We have to help them to develop these skills. Sometimes sometimes it is hard to imagine, but if we just not interrupt them, give them a little support, and they are able to spend more time, more efforts for developing their skills. Sometimes we see young people who are able to draw, who are able to sing, and so on, and also they have to do two things at the same time. Okay, we can't leave the school at all. We have to spend our efforts, our time
Yes.
for scholastic, for math, and so on. Be prepared for exams, but it seems to me it is very important to have your it is like your own private part of life. Some people likes have their hobbies, and it is not only a joy, it is not only a toy. It may to grow to turn into something very important, very useful, like it happens with talented people, and they grow with their dream, and they are able to produce something very useful. Maybe it sounds like a little bit some uh, Disneyland stuff, but uh, uh, it not always. So some people, it seems to me it is very useful to have such a thing for every person, because if we just only follow the rules, only do what we were told, we are became just like a machine. Sometimes we have to do some things, and there are rules, okay, but we have to develop our souls, and
Mhm.
it's very important. Otherwise, if we see, if we watch some old documentaries about some, I was watched a video about some totalitarianism
Mhm.
last century, and I was shocked. And it seems to me one of the problems of this harsh stuff, it is being not creative, being not honest with your own, and not to see another in another person. Also, if we can see a personality in other people, and so on.
Yes, I think everyone is creative. He's
Yes,
born
yes,
with
yes. The main
creativity.
idea is sometimes if you're
Mhm.
able to see things, you
Mhm.
can. Ну, такое слово чуткость есть. Вот я не знаю, как на английском это сказать.
Mm,
Сложно, надо попробовать разобраться. Окей, we have to be very carefully to our life, and sometimes
mhm.
things which are considered as just regular, just obvious. Sometimes we can see even something useful and unique.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. So we can be supportive for our kids, like rich dad
Let's
was.
back to our kids. Yes, sometimes it
Yes.
is very important. I had a
Uh-huh.
niece and a nephew, and we just discussed many things. When I went to
Mhm.
visited them, I discussed them some stuff, asked them for some stuff. Sometimes I bought a book and we sit together and read
Uh-huh.
a book with pictures about animals. And sometimes
Mhm.
it was very funny. And then I was surprised. My little nephew, she earned many types of birds, and when we uh, went for a walk, she was able uh, to point her finger at any bird. He was able to name the type of this bird, and I was so
Ah,
surprised. I thought when we leave, we have just a few type of birds and
yes.
a crown, a sparrow, and something else. But she named many thousands of those birds, and I liked it
Yes.
a lot. And it's also she was she liked to draw. She's able to draw, and
Mhm.
when she got a piano, she was very able to to play the piano. Also, she taught me some simple lessons, and when I saw all those stuff, I was very proud of her. And
Mhm.
also it was very important to show that it is useful stuff, and at least
Yes.
if she can't earn money about this, but she developed her skills about how to learn something new, how to set the goal, because the most part she was teach herself her own
Mhm.
without any tutor,
Yes.
because
Self-education. Mhm.
we have the internet nowadays, and we can find some free lessons, but the main skill for this, it is
Mhm.
mm, self discipline and an
Mhm.
ability to making goals, how to
Yes. To
it is
set goals. Mhm.
how to set goals. And it is a very personal story for me, and I, I wanted to
Okay.
share. Thank
Yes.
you for
Thank
your
you for
attention.
sharing. Yes. Thank you for sharing. Good story about your nephews and nephew or niece.
I have a nephew and
Ah.
two nieces,
Okay.
and they all of them are
Uh-huh.
somehow creative, and it is, at least it is a good point for connection. If you don't see them for a long time, it seems to me it is good to ask a little bit about grades, but the rest of time it is better to talk about their hobbies, about their maybe thoughts about something else.
Okay, thank you. Just let's go further. We have some more questions about this chapter. And for you personally, a house or a flat is the liability or an asset? For you personally, your flat is the liability or an asset? Yes, Tatiana, you said something.
Sorry, I need to go, and I have
Sure,
one question. На
Yes.
какой мы странице? Мы сейчас, получается, на странице 100? 100?
Это страницы моей печатной книги, вот такой. Я вам присылаю еще PDF-файл, да? Там, я не помню, возможно, там страницы отличаются. Мы сейчас на 2 главе. Там какая страница, я даже вот точно не знаю.
Можно я подскажу, как я делаю? Я просто беру какое-нибудь словосочетание или предложение и в поиске просто вот в PDF открываю, в браузере Ctrl-F нажимаю, кидаю туда. Я очень быстро нахожу то, что мне надо. И еще такую хитрую вещь делаю. Я в одном окне открываю аудиокнигу, а в браузере смотрю текстом. И мне так очень легко.
Вот это очень правильно. Это, да, я говорила о том, что нужно и слушать, и читать текст. Тогда вы будете произношение еще тренировать.
Да, вот то, что вы скинули ссылку, там очень четкая, неторопливая запись. Очень удобно и очень помогает.
Да.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
Yes.
Goodbye.
You too. Have a good day, and yes, we continue some more questions. So for you personally, a house or a flat is a liability or an asset? Yulia, what about you? For you personally, your flat or your house is a liability or an asset?
I think my flat is my asset, maybe, because but no, for now my flat and the house is my liability because I pay for it and it don't bring me money. And maybe in the future when I move on and I start to rent my flat, it's become an asset.
Yes, I agree. Okay, and Robert confirms that houses are liabilities. What are the arguments he puts forth? Do you remember? I don't remember, frankly speaking.
He told us about taxes, about her mortgage,
yes.
mortgage payment, and about your taxes payment of your property, and another. So if you buy a house and you have a credit for a long time, for 30 years, and this is not your asset. It is your liability.
Yes. And I think in Russia the tax for the real estate is not really high. I'm not sure, but I think it's not high. In America it is very high. But in Russia we have another problem, is mortgage payments. A lot of people have a flat or a house, but they are not their own. They belong to a bank.
Yes.
Because they pay all these mortgage payments.
Yes, you pay to bank, you pay to government, and you pay to another companies which used your house or flat better, maybe. So you have, you think you have this flat, but you have to pay for it for a long time.
And do you remember, what does he recommend to do if you want to buy a bigger house, or at least to buy some house, some flat, what does he recommend?
To count your assets and expenses, and if you see that your assets it's not big, so they can put your expenses clearly, all, and you have at first to buy assets that they will bring your money, and after that you can buy liability.
Correct. To buy assets or to build assets that will produce cash flow to pay for the house, for a bigger house or for a bigger flat. Yes. Okay. Why the rich get richer and the middle class struggle financially? Why the rich get richer? That is the question. Why the rich get richer? What do you think?
As we found out before, the rich person is that person who knows how to make money, and when he's such a person who makes money, that is an explanation why he becomes richer. And at the same time, a person who is from middle class, he can't change himself, and even if he or she earns more money, they have a habit to spend all of those money. And the things are the same. They struggle financially all the time.
Well, by the way, the middle class also know how to make money. They also can make money.
But they don't know how to manage them. And they don't
know how to manage them.
literacy.
Yes, but the rich person, he makes money, then he builds an asset or buys an asset, and this asset brings him more money, then he will invest this more money into some more assets, and so he gets richer and richer and richer.
They make their money to work hard for them.
Yes. They make money work, yes, hard for them. Okay. So once you understand the difference between an asset and a liability, concentrate your efforts on buying income-generating assets. Keep liabilities down so more money is available to continue pouring into the asset column. What are the assets and liabilities in your life at this moment? What are the assets and liabilities? If you just think about that right at that moment, what are the assets? Do you have any assets in your life?
Well, it seems to me I don't have any obvious assets at the moment, but maybe when I develop my English, it will be able to turn new money. But it doesn't look like an example like a book story. You told us a story about an example about a writer who writes his book, but
Yes.
what can we say something like this about English learner? I don't know.
I don't think so. That is just knowing English is an asset. It is a skill, but not an asset. An asset is something that puts money without working, right?
Yes,
or
because
without much working, much labor from your side.
In this case, I can't name any assets, unfortunately.
Yes, but we can think about it and build an asset of the skill. So you have the skill, and you can think over how to make this skill, how to make it an asset. So to build an asset using this skill. I think.
I just hope maybe this book will teach me something useful. So I'm not going to hurry. Just wait, just learn this book.
Uh-huh. And can you keep the liabilities down? What do you think? Can you keep
Well, I don't have many liabilities. I don't have many things which take many money every time. That's why I feel maybe can I say I feel easy. I feel light. I don't know how to say.
free, maybe?
Maybe free. Yes, it is suitable.
Okay. Yulia, and what about you? Do you have any assets right at that moment?
Right at that moment, I don't have any assets. I have only liabilities, but for now it's not bigger, and
Yes.
ну, не знаю, как сказать, но в общем, да.
No assets, but
No assets, but
some liability.
not many liabilities.
Not so many liabilities. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now the next. The investment is not risky for the financially literate person. The investment is not risky for the financially literate person. Do you agree with that?
I think so. Maybe if you know about money and how it's working very well, you can to invest it right,
Yes.
and they can bring you a lot of money. But the main question of this, how you financially literate. If you know a little bit and you try, you have a life lesson, I think.
Yes.
But if you train it more and more, you educate it more to know about it more and more. And the rich dad said, as many knowledge I have, I need more knowledge.
Yes. I understand that I need more. Yes.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you that we study all our life to be financially literate, but we should start from something, because many people, they just don't get started at all to be financially literate. They just live life and they don't think about that. Okay, and I think the last, but not the least. No, not. Okay, what is Robert's definition of a wealthy person? And yes, that's a good question. What's Robert's definition of a wealthy person? Can a person be wealthy but not rich? Do you remember what was his definition of a wealthy person?
I don't remember it exactly. I think it was somewhere in the end of the chapter. He told us about his wealth. He told that he has enough assets to покрывать его расходы. To cover his expense, and he don't need more, and he think this is wealthy. But if you rich, you have more and more and more to raise an empire of your business.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your idea. Oleg, what do you think about what is a wealthy person? Can a person be wealthy but not rich?
Well, I tried to guess because I didn't read this part, unfortunately.
Mhm.
It seems to me because Robert's because of style of his mindset, it looks like the main wealthy. The main wealth is an ability to not forget how to risk due to earn new money, to being able to know how money works and how to invest and so on. But being rich, it may be also about having good stuffs or something like that. I just tried to guess.
Okay.
I
Okay,
didn't
let me read you this definition, because being wealthy and being rich are different things, he says. So wealth is a person's ability to survive so many number of days forward, or if I stop working today, how long could I survive? That is the definition of being wealth. So, for example, if I stop working today, how many days forward in future I can survive? I can survive without working. It means to be wealth. If you can, if you cannot work all your life forward, that means you're wealthy. You're a wealthy person because you have some assets that produce cash flow, and every day you can just bring this money from the assets and cover your expenses. That means you're wealthy. And rich is the person who has even more than he can not only cover the expenses, but he has some extra money from his assets, and it means he's rich. That is the definition. Do you understand?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. And the last question for today, just what is one idea from the second chapter that we discussed today that has touched you or inspired you most? Just one idea from this chapter, that from our discussion today, or from your reading at home, that has touched you most.
I think it is definitions and differences from the asset and liability.
Mm-hmm.
And it is true, I think, that a lot of people thought that their liability, their houses and credits, is their assets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
It is very interesting to think about it.
Yes. Really. And yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Aliak, what about you? What is one idea that touched you or inspired you?
Well, it is hard to me to choose something particular
Uh-huh.
because everything what I read was interesting and impressed me, and I made some quotes in my notepad,
Mm-hmm.
but I tried to choose something, but I don't know what to.
Okay.
Hey, promised themselves they'll just window shop, but they take a credit card just in case.
Yes.
It is,
Yes.
it is a short part from the story about those young couple who got married, and they got a mortgage and an expensive house, and also they have simple grammar, simple vocabulary, but I like them. and I want to say them due to repeat them from time to time, and maybe use some phrases in my daily basis in English
Yes.
because I like such things because they're so nice. Also, I also told this stuff about digging a hole. I liked it, and
Yes.
something else.
Stop digging. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. And for me, just I will share with you. For me, just one idea that touched me most is this power of mirror that we use for self-knowledge and for looking inside, and so ask questions that are important. Does it make sense? Why I'm doing this? And the idea of building an asset. So what can I do now to build an asset in future? That's what I liked most, and I'm also thinking about that. Okay. Thank you very much for this discussion. It was really interesting, and I like discussing with you. And thank you for your ideas. It is really very, very good to discuss it together, because while we are discussing, we just think about all these thoughts and ideas that we read in the chapter. Thank you very much. So see you next time.
Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah.